I'm in the car.
As well?
Ivy is in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Long time no see. Yeah.
Wow, okay. I think we have, again, 49 people.
I kind of also wanted to introduce myself real quick. I am a co-coordinator of the YLP. I actually work with Jean and Sherry and the students that will be taking over the meeting today one-on-one to kind of make sure they're comfortable in their speaking traits and serve as a motivator for them. And I'm really excited to see a bunch of new faces and see how they do today.
That's great. That's great. So just a little bit of things before we start. The participants you can see, if you can, please just change your name to show that you're either F.A.T or YLP so we know. And then if you're a guest, just put down your name so that will be easier for us to manage. Without further ado, I'm going to let Jean and also this great group of students to handle the meeting today. So Jean, take it over.
May I pass it on to our Toastmaster for this meeting, Niru?
Thank you, Jean. Hi, everyone. My name is Niru, and I'm part of the 3C's YLP, and I will be your Toastmaster for today. I would just like to go over what we will be doing in our meeting today. So the theme of the meeting, since all the 3C's YLP members have taken over this meeting, it will be youth power. The quote of the day is by Mary Bethune, I think that's how you pronounce it, and it states, "We have a powerful potential in our youth, and we must have the courage to change old ideas and practices so that we may direct their power towards good ends." The word of the day is empower, which is a verb, to make someone stronger and more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. So today we will have the first speech or presentation will be done by all the 3C's YLP students. Hopefully they will introduce themselves in our presentation. And then we will have another speech by Jim Christian. And then we will have some table topics, evaluation, and then the student general evaluator, then the Toastmaster general evaluator, and any other announcements. That is the overview of our agenda for today. And I would like to invite the timer to introduce their role.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanvi and I will be your timer for this session. So for all of the 3C's YLP students, the 12 speakers, I will show up the red card for 1 minute. And for Sadhana's speech, it'll be green for 1 minute, amber for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and red for 2 minutes. And for Mrinali and her team's speech, it will be green for 8 minutes, 9 minutes for amber, and 10 minutes for red. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanvi. Next, we will have the counter, Hasita.
Hello everyone, my name is Hasita Amanda. I'll be the counter for today. So the filler words I'll be counting in the speeches and the evaluators are and, but, so, and like. Those are the filler words I'll be looking for.
Thank you, Hasita. And lastly, our grammarian for today, Varsha.
Hi everyone, I'm the grammarian for today. As a grammarian, I will be counting the gems and germs in your speeches, evaluations, and table topics. The gems are the good use of grammar, the germs are the bad use of grammar. And I will also be seeing if you'll use the word of the day in today's speeches, evaluations, and table topics. And just a reminder, the word of the day is empower.
Thank you, Varsha. I just sent a link to the agenda in the chat just in case anyone would like to reference it. And without further ado, we're going to get started with the first presentation for today. So the 14 members of 3C's YLP have thought long and hard to come up with amazing community service projects that they can go through with during the pandemic. They're all here to share their ideas with you all. The final project, which we all will complete, is a camp for kids, which will be happening next week. So stay tuned for all the presentation and let's get started. So now the 3C's YLP students will be presenting. Thank you.
Good evening, distinguished Toastmasters. My name is Varsha Kachibola. Every year, 1.5 million animals in shelters are killed due to the overpopulation in the shelters. To decrease that number, I propose a project in which we aid our local animal shelters by doing two things. First, we can let people know that there's a chance for a new best friend. We can do this by passing out flyers and brochures for our neighborhood. And those who want to stay home can spread the word through social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook. We can also go to the local animal shelter and offer to help there. We can sweep up the place or clean out the animals' pens. We will be taking safety precautions. We will wear masks, face shields, and gloves, and we will try not to get in contact with anyone else. As for the donations, we can use it to make the flyers and brochures, and we will donate the rest of it to our local animal shelter. Such a deed can aid the local animal shelters fabulously.
Trash has great potential to harm the environment, wildlife, and humans. It disrupts the aquatic ecosystem. Research also says that it negatively impacts your community and it makes you feel less safe. So, what can we do? We can all adopt a block in our neighborhood and take pictures of before and after we clean and post it on any social media platform with the hashtag #TrapTheTrash. We can also make posters to put up to deter people from throwing trash on the road. By cleaning up all the trash in this world, you will have an infection-free life, and right now it is important that we dispose of any trash we find because you never know what can carry coronavirus. So unless we care about our community and our Mother Earth, nothing will be better. This is our home. We live on this planet, so we should learn to take care of it. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Tanvi, and my idea, Reuse the Roots, came to me because of my family. They've been gardening a lot over quarantine. According to this graph, crop production has increased greatly over quarantine, but more crops also means more waste. So my idea allows families and gardening enthusiasts to donate extra harvest from their garden and leave it in a box outside their house for me to come pick up. The 3 steps to success are identifying the people who we can pick up donations from. The second step would be to sort items into different bags. And the third step is to find places that we can deliver the food to. The pros of my project is that it reduces waste, helps people in need, it is safe, and doesn't require any money. To support our initiative, follow us on Instagram at Reuse the Roots and donate on our website. We are rooting for you to make a change. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Prasha and my idea is Back to Books, a neighborhood book exchange to help promote reading over the summer. So essentially over quarantine, my family's been using a lot of electronics, and now that we're cutting back on the TV, I don't have much to do. But one thing that has kept me entertained is books. I've been reading a lot during this summer and I wanted to promote doing this with other people too. So my idea is a book exchange in our communities. Now we can read the books in our houses, but eventually we're going to run out of books. So we can trade books with people around us. We would make a doc monitoring the books people want and the books people want to give away. And that way we can give others books in our communities safely by using stuff like gloves, masks, and following other precautions. We can put them in paper bags to keep everyone safe, and this will promote reading, keep kids entertained over summer, and use quarantine effectively.
$14.7 million. That's the number of unemployed people during this pandemic. Now, while school is reopening for many students this year, many parents have not gotten their jobs back. This means they won't be able to afford many basic necessities and will make many compromises. My project is called Set Up for Success. My name is Srihari Brazil, and I want to explore how we can lift this burden off. About our project, Set Up for Success. Our project is designed for poor people who live in poor income communities who are hit hardest by unemployment during this pandemic. How we will help them? We'll run a school supplies drive that will provide free basic supplies that everyone needs in order to do well during the school year. Why are we doing this? Imagine going to school without a pencil. Would you still have the same amount of success you have today? These people won't be able to afford school supplies, and we need to help lift the burden of their financial hardship by supporting them. And that is why I made this idea. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Yash Tamar, and the community service project that I have chosen is an organization by the name of the Free Musketeers. So the Free Musketeers is a hospital support program which essentially makes and donates face masks to healthcare workers in the Bay Area. The goal for this project is to create at least 100 face masks for healthcare workers. We can use the donations that we get to buy materials and sew masks and deliver these masks to local healthcare workers. Right now, this is a really important project because a lot of healthcare workers are risking their lives to keep us safe. So I think this is a really good project in a way that we can give back to these people. Thank you.
No Plastic Initiative, where we upcycle plastics to reduce plastic pollution and better environment, by Hasida Menda. Every year, over 8 million tons of plastics are thrown into the ocean. This is very negatively affecting our environment. Some of the solutions currently are to recycle or reuse the plastics. However, recycling is not as effective. Less than 9% of plastics are actually recycled. The rest ends up in our environment and oceans, hurting them. Therefore, the solution is the hashtag No Plastic Initiative, where we encourage others to upcycle and reuse plastics for projects, environmental friendly projects, such as plastic water bottle bird feeders and plastic room decor. Buying less plastic and more reusable items also helps. The main part of this initiative is the Mason Jar Challenge, where you put all your plastic in a jar, see how much you used, reduce the amount of plastics you use next time, and reuse the plastics in the jar. This project is completely free and you can do it at your home. The hashtag No Plastic Initiative will and aims to reduce the plastic pollution. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison Lin and my project is called the Virtual Food Drive. In a 2018 study, it was found that more than 870,000 people suffer from food insecurity in the Bay Area. One can only wonder how many people suffer food insecurity due to the pandemic. So my idea is that we could split into two different groups, Team A and Team B, and we will both join the Alameda County Virtual Food Bank and compete to see who can raise the most money for the food bank. And with the money, we will be able to buy fresh produce and dairy products for the food bank. This project is extremely safe because it's 100% remote, so you will not be in contact with anybody. Thank you.
Each year, more than 400,000 children experience foster care in the United States, and education within foster children is a huge problem. 50% never even graduate, and fewer than 3% earn a college degree. So I came up with a solution called Zoom Carnival, where our three main goals are to raise funds, appeal to parents to send their kids to the carnival, and also appeal to kids. There will be 4 Zoom meetings where games such as bingo, talent show, trivia, and video games will be hosted. And our main roles will be hosting the event and also taking care of the money coming in. The participation fee will be $5 and prizes will be given with Amazon gift cards with the seed money that we receive. So everyone leaves with something. Our targeted consumer is family and friends, and we can market this idea by sending it through social media and even WhatsApp group. This event can be a 1 to 2 hour event. My name is Nirupama Sirvarjala, and I encourage you all to join me with this project and use our benevolence to foster curiosity.
One Tree at a Time by Achipari. That's me. From the 1800s, a lot has changed, and because of that, a bunch of carbon dioxide has been released into our air. And this is not a good thing. As you can see from this graph, with the carbon dioxide getting thrown up in our air, the temperature of our planet is getting hotter, which means that global warming is real. What we can do to stop global warming and finally make our Earth as safe and as cool as it is. First of all, we need to spread awareness, because that's the only way we can get other people to understand what our Earth is going through. Second, we should raise money. From donations and fundraisers, we can get enough money to buy plants and saplings, and then plant trees and celebrate. Yay!
Actually, volume.
Audrey, I think you might have to unmute yourself.
Can you not hear it?
No, just try playing it now.
I think you have to click share sound at the bottom.
Achi, go to the share screen, like advanced sharing options, and click share computer sound.
What?
Okay, so stop sharing like your screen real quick. Okay. And then on the share screen, it'll lead you to a button, a drop down saying advanced sharing options. Click on that, and this time when you share your screen, press what you want to share, and then click share computer sound at the bottom.
Is it supposed to pop up somewhere?
Okay, so just click on share screen again, and then highlight what you want to share. And at the bottom of your share screen page, there should be an option to share computer sound.
I got it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Neha.
Wait a minute. I need a password. I need to... Wait, can you guys hear me? I blanked out for a sec. I'm gonna need a password. I'll get back to you in a couple minutes or seconds.
Why don't you proceed? Why don't you proceed with Sadhana presentation,
Okay.
Achi, as you have this one. Go ahead. Proceed.
Good evening, distinguished Toastmasters, guests, fellow 3C's, YLP members. My name is Sadhana Tatapalli. Let's be honest, unless one of you is a time traveler, we can't turn back time and prevent COVID-19 from happening. Things like that are reserved for fairy tales and bedtime stories. Back in March, when the shelter in place was ordered, most of us would have never imagined how many lives would be lost or how high the risk is for the healthcare professionals putting their lives on the line every single day. We may not be able to change the minds and the hearts of the people who believe it's okay to leave their homes whenever they want. We can't right their wrongs, but we can use the power that we all have. We can use our power to motivate, empower, inspire, and thank healthcare professionals for their service. By making care packages, handwritten cards, and posters with inspirational quotes and sending them to the COVID-19 floor at Kaiser Hospital in Oakland, where Jean works, we can show our gratitude. Including items such as mask bands to keep masks from wearing down the back of their ears, compression socks for leg soreness, hand sanitizer because you can never have too much, and reusable water bottles all in a reusable bag, we can make their day so much better. We will include handwritten cards because true words coming from the heart are at least 1,000 times better than materialistic items. And finally, the posters are to keep spirits high at the hospital, even though everyone's going through tough times. On Achi's screen, you'll see an example of what the poster might look like. By sending the light of hope, love, and appreciation to one hospital, we change their lives forever. Around the world, 18.4 million people have or are currently battling this disease. We can't help all of them, but we owe it to ourselves to honor the healthcare professionals who laid down their lives during this fight with COVID-19 by sending doctors and nurses out there our thanks, because through these nurses and doctors, we'll be saving this world one life at a time. Thank you.
Okay, I should be able to do this now. It is not working. Can you guys hear it?
No, Achi, we cannot hear it.
Okay.
I believe I know how to fix it.
And who was that?
I believe I know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
Make your suggestion.
I have a suggestion.
Okay, go on.
So you want to stop your sharing, number one.
Yeah.
And then you want to click share a screen. When it comes up, you should have a dialog box on the top left corner of your screen called show computer, turn on computer sound. You want to check that icon. So it will be switched to turn off. So just leave it alone. You need to make sure that the turn on is actually clicked so that it will say turn off. That means you can turn it off, but you click it again. So you want to click it once and then select the screen you want to share and then just share. Try that.
Okay. It asks for a password, but
Audrey, if that doesn't work, I think what you can do is you can take out your headphones if that is possible and play the video out loud and unmute yourself so then we can also hear it from your computer.
Okay, I will try that.
Thank you. Did you share the screen? Achi, make sure to unmute yourself as well.
May I suggest that we go on with Minali presentations and then Achi, Nihar, can you work with Achi?
Yep.
Upline?
Yep.
So let's continue with Minali while Nihar work with Achi upline, please.
I can share my screen in the meantime. So Achi, can you please unshare your screen? Okay, thank you. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, I'm Renali, and our team's chosen idea is Camp for Kids. A summer camp is a great way to engage children to learn new skills. A lot of kids used to go to summer camps during their previous summers, but due to quarantine, it is not possible anymore. The purpose of a camp is to teach kids new things while having fun. According to the American Camp Association, before the pandemic, there were around 12,000 camps attended by more than 11 million people in just the US. Since a lot of these camps have shut down, it is our turn to step up. In Camp for Kids, we teach a variety of skills, from singing and dancing to things like Spanish and coding, and it's all online. We hope that with many different teachers, we can share a variety of skills. We also have a class specific to our group, speech. I hope that this camp really empowers the younger kids. So, do you guys have any skills you would like to share?
This is our flyer for the Camp for Kids that we've already created and sent out. In it, we include the who, what, when, where, why, and also a registration link and a donation link. And we use this to spread the word.
For this community service project, there is no seed money required or donations required to run this Camp for Kids. However, we will still be taking donations from participants to help Sadhna's project one life at a time.
So this is a class schedule for our 7-day camp. Shifts will be assigned based on the availability of the students, and they are 2-hour classes with a 20-minute break in between. The first day will be a half-an-hour introduction where the students and teachers can get to know each other and understand the class a little bit better, and it'll be 1 subject per day.
In each meeting, we will have 1 adult Zoom monitor for keeping situations under control, and at least 2 mentors per class.
In the singing class / music class, we will be teaching pop, R&B music, and even Disney song for the younger kids, since we're trying to target an age group of 8 to 12 years old. We'll work on fundamental skills such as pitch, tone, and voice quality, and no prior experience is required to attend this singing lesson.
So the dancing class is a beginner and introductory dance class. We will be choosing popular funk and pop music with a fun beat. It'll be easy and fun choreography, and dancing is a great way to get your heart pumping and stretch your legs. So it's a great idea to have a physical activity class in our summer camp.
In our introductory class to speech, we cover the do's and don'ts of public speaking. In the class, we will have impromptu speaking practice, just like how we do table topics here in Toastmasters. Students over there will also see good examples of speeches and learn to critically evaluate the speaking ability of others.
We will also have an introductory drawing class, and in this class, we will have some materials which are required, such as number 2 pencils, erasers, blank paper, and colored pencils of at least 5 different colors. You will be learning the basics of sketching and coloring using different techniques. On the next slide, you can see the different kinds of techniques such as hatching or cross-hatching and that you will be learning in this class.
In this course, students will learn how to do basic web design through a markup language called HTML5. They will learn how different HTML tags such as headings and paragraphs are easily implemented in websites. Since HTML is a fairly easy language to learn, you're not required to have any prior experience. The platform that we will be using to teach HTML is called Sublime Text. On the right side, you can see a fairly basic website code that I have attached that I made using the app Sublime Text. You can download you can download the app by clicking on the link for the website below.
Spanish is an extremely important language, especially in California. In this introductory Spanish class, we'll be covering the basics of the Spanish language, culture, and we'll also be going over some basic Spanish words and sentence structures. We'll be learning how to introduce ourselves and how to start conversations in Spanish. On the next slide, you'll be able to see some examples of what we'll be learning, such as hola, which means hello, and other self-introductions.
To launch this week of fun, our first step was to decide a schedule for the number of classes that would be held each day and at what times. We settled on one 2-hour session each day. We then decided which classes everyone could teach best. As a result, we came up with 6 classes, which we explained earlier. We then worked out the little details such as age group and class cap. After we decided on how the camp would work, we started our advertisement phase. This meant sending out the flyer, which we showed earlier, and posting our flyer on our social media. Before we could send out the flyer, we worked out a few more things, such as adding a suggested donation amount and assigning certain classes to a certain date. We then released the flyer along with the sign-up form. These are the steps that have been completed, but there is still more we need to do. On Saturday, the signups will close and we will send out the confirmation emails along with the Zoom link. On Sunday, we will hold our introduction class where all our students and teachers will be introduced. We are also meeting on Sunday to discuss our curriculums. Finally, our camp will launch the following week. This project is one that requires a lot of teamwork and planning, so I'm thankful for everyone here to help me make this happen. Thank you.
Angie, have we been able to problem solve the video?
Yeah, I should most likely be able to now.
Let's give it a final try.
Achi, is it still asking for the password?
Should be working.
Okay, good. Awesome.
Etiquette is a very important part of our social lives, from proper table manners to first impressions. But with every social interaction going virtual due to COVID-19, video conferencing has become the new norm and a very critical platform for distance learning and virtual meetings. But with Zoom, I have to admit it is very easy to become lazy, slack off in pajamas, and get distracted with other tasks.
Zoom is a relatively new concept for many people, which is why we need to spread awareness on Zoom etiquette. So, say hello to Zoom Arcadia. I propose that we host a free workshop to teach families and students about Zoom etiquette and communication. We can cover topics from how to use the interface to how to present yourself, communicate through Zoom, as well as touch on Zoom bombing. This is especially important for elementary grade families where learning through Zoom can be a bumpy ride at first. I hope that with our skills as Toastmasters, we can share our public speaking and Zoom etiquette knowledge to help strengthen our communities through Zoom. Thank you.
And then this one might be a little weird because it's not on YouTube, but I'll try it.
Community service is helping the community. Well, currently we can't really go out that much and clean up a park or someplace. So what do? We can do something online, like this meeting, like tutoring. If you're wondering why tutoring, it's because it benefits everyone. First off, it helps the student. Tutoring teaches the student whatever they want to learn and they learn it. Did you know, according to Oxford Learning, people get good study habits from tutoring? It could help a lot for some of us because I myself procrastinate a lot. Also, the tutor gets experience in communication. We all learn to communicate here, but tutoring is like table topics. You get a random question and you have to answer, but you also have to explain it well and clearly. In fact, Oxford Learning states that one of the benefits of tutoring is that it improves social and behavioral skills. All in all, tutoring helps both the teacher and the student, along with being simple, online, and doable. It is a simple thing, yet tutoring helps many people out a lot. We can still help our community, even if it's not in person. We can be the help people. Thank you. Remember tutoring, it's simple, it's online.
Yay!
Good job, everyone. That was amazing, and it went pretty smoothly other than that little problem we did have with sound. But thank you, Neha and Achi, for figuring that out and having it ready for the meeting. So next, I will be giving everyone 1 minute to give feedback in the chat and also invite the evaluator for the next speech, Allison, to explain the purpose of Jim's speech.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison and I'll be introducing the purpose and...
Allison, wait for 1 minute. Wait for 1 minute.
While we're waiting, will everyone please mute? If you're muted, then we can't hear you. Please mute. I see Fuller. I see some other folks. Please mute. Thank you.
Okay, a minute has passed, and now I'll be calling upon Allison.
All right. Hi everyone, my name is Allison and I will be the evaluator for Jim's speech, Tall Tree Tale. The member completing this project is focusing on using stories in a speech or creating a speech that is a story. The member may use any type of story, personal, well-known fiction, or one of his or her own creation. The introduction to Jim's speech is, in 1915, under the cover of World War I, the Ottoman Empire, modern-day Turkey, killed 1.5 million of its own citizens in what is now known as the Armenian Genocide. Jim's great-grandfather, Abed Selah, brought his family to Fresno, California. Shortly after joining Toastmasters, Jim wrote his speech for a tall tale speech contest. He remembers as a child sitting in his grandparents' backyard under the trees and hearing of his family's escape from Syria. Please welcome Jim Christian and his speech, Tall Tree Tale.
Thank you, Allison. As a young boy, I spent many summers with my grandparents. We lived in a land whose name is loosely translated, sweltering heat. Behind my grandparents' house grew a giant black walnut tree. Its enormous arms spread out, covering the small house, the shed, and the entire corner lot where it stood. One morning, as I played in the backyard, I saw something I'd never seen before. It was a face in the tree. There was a nose, eyes, a mouth, clearly defined in the bark of the tree. It was the face of a boy. His eyes seemed to follow me as I chased Grandma's cat around the yard. When I mentioned the boy to Grandma, she excitedly said to me, "Ah, you finally met my brother Esau." She gently pulled me into her lap and told me the story of Esau, Salah, and the giant black walnut tree. As a young girl, I lived with my family in a beautiful village in the country of Syria. Our village was surrounded by orchards and vineyards. At the center of it all was a black walnut tree. For months, there had been rumors of war. Our father sat us down again and again and said, "If trouble should come, hide beneath the walnut tree and I will find you." One night, I awoke to the thundering sound of horses stampeding through our village and to the cries of people shouting, "Fire! Fire!" All I could think of were Father's words, "Hide beneath the walnut tree." I ran from our house. The lanes of the village are filled with smoke and with the cries of people shouting, "The Turks! The Turks!" I'm not sure how I got there or what happened next, but I found myself lying on the ground amongst the walnuts. I felt as if I was suffocating as I clawed a red and black scarf away from my face. I pushed and I crawled out from underneath the broken and trampled body of my big brother, Esau. He had saved my life at the cost of his own. Our father found us there the next morning, and Esau's scarf caught my tears as I watched my father bury my brother in the soft ground beneath the walnut tree. Years later, after marrying Grandpa and moving to the land of sweltering heat, I received a package from my mother. It was one of her most cherished possessions, a gift for our young son, a red and black scarf. I brought the scarf to my face and smelled the smoke and heard the cries from that terrible night so long ago. And again, Esau's scarf caught my tears. But in a fold of the scarf, near the fringe at one end, I found this, a walnut, still wrapped in its dried and rotten husk. I planted it here, and it quickly grew into this beautiful tree. The next day, as I played in the yard, my games were full of fire and smoke and war. I chased Grandma's cat around the yard and rescued her 3 times. As I gazed up at the tree and hoped again one day to climb it, to be tall enough to reach its lowest branches, I heard a dog enter the yard. It was snarling and snapping and growling, and it ran straight for me and Grandma's cat. The cat shot up the tree. I didn't know what to do, so I chased after it. This dog was snarling and snapping at my heels as I screamed, "The Turks! The Turks!" Suddenly, handholds and footholds appeared in the trunk of the tree where there had been none before. I quickly climbed to safety and stood on a branch I thought I would never reach. As I turn around to look behind me, hundreds of walnuts showered down upon the dog, and it ran from the yard, yipping and yelping and shaking its head. After I stopped laughing, I heard the cries of Grandma's cat. In its fright, it had climbed to the topmost branches of the walnut tree. I knew what I had to do. I had to save Grandma's cat for the 4th time that day. I climbed ever higher, afraid to look back. As I balanced on the skinniest branches and reached for Grandma's cat, it suddenly jumped into my arms. I tumbled tail over tea kettles to the ground below, when suddenly the branches of the walnut tree swept beneath me, gently lifted me up and placed me on the ground. Grandma's cat still in my arms. I looked to the boy in the tree. His eyes were shining bright, and he smiled at me as I said, "Thank you, Uncle Esau."
Thank you so much, Jim. That was such an amazing speech. Now I will give you guys 1 minute to give feedback in the chat room. Thank you, everyone. A minute has passed, and now I will be handing it off to Sadhana to explain the purpose and principles of an evaluation.
Okay. So for Jim's speech, the evaluator is Allison, and the basic purpose of an evaluation is to let the speaker know what they could improve on and what they did really well during their speech. Some of the improvements can be implemented during their next speeches and in the future, so I'd like to welcome Allison to evaluate Jim's speech.
Hello. Thank you, Jim, for this amazing speech. You're very in voice, in volume and speed, which added emphasis to the different scenes that you were trying to give. What made the speech much more emotional and vivid. In addition, you used some amazing diction, which made me feel as if I were the one who was trying to climb up from underneath the walnut tree. And to be honest, I almost shed a few tears, but I held those tears in. So very wonderfully written and presented speech. One tiny thing that I noticed throughout the speech was that you had a slight tendency to fidget with your hands. It wasn't a really big fidgeting issue, but it was there. The slight holding it like this or doing this and that with your hands. It was there, but it's not a really big issue. But all in all, I really, really enjoyed your speech, and especially how you acted out climbing up the walnut tree and chasing after your grandma's cat, or the vividness and how you were chased after by a snarling dog. That was an extremely interesting point in your speech as well. Another thing that I really liked is how you used the space you had. I know Zoom can be a little bit difficult because everybody is within a tiny screen window, but you were able to go from one end of the screen to the other end and act out every single little part of your grandmother's story and of your own story as well. It was also extremely interesting how you tied your grandma's story to your own story. I noticed that it seemed as if the cat was your grandma in her story and you were playing the role of her brother and the dog was the Turks. So that was a really interesting way you wove the two stories together, which made the story even more personal and more vivid and emotional. All in all, your speech was fantastic, and I look forward to hearing from you more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison. I accidentally skipped over table topics. I was looking at the time and did not realize that I did skip over it. And Allison, you did such an amazing job for giving the evaluation right after the speech, and there wasn't that much time to prepare. So amazing job on that. Thank you so much, Allison. And now we will be going to table topics, and I will be handing it off to the table topics master, Mrinali.
Hi, I'm your table topics master, Mrinali, and for our first table topic, can we have from JD? Your question is, what is one value or moral that you will always follow? And our word of the day is empowerment.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, of course. What is one value or moral you will always follow?
Wow, that is, or my response can be very empowering to someone. I think the the moral or value that I treasure most, or that I think will be the best to follow, is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That I believe inspires people to be kind to one another, because obviously you would want them to be kind to you. And whenever we share kindness, everything is better, because we can empathize with other people and maybe feel their struggles, maybe ease their struggles. And it just brings a sense of connected togetherness. Thank you.
That was a very sound moral. Our next speaker for table topics is Achi. Your question is, how do you think that being a youth leader is different from being an adult leader?
I couldn't hear that.
Sorry. How do you think that
No,
being a...
I can't hear you at all.
Am I on mute?
No, Mrinali, we can hear you. Let me
Maybe you
just
can put it in the chat.
I'll do that.
You could just type in the question in chat. Okay. How do you think being a youth leader is different from being an adult leader? First of all, being a youth leader means you are part of a youth audience. And since I am a kid right now, I'm only 13, I know what kids are interested into. For instance, if I make a speech, I can talk about Minecraft or any other video game and fill it with humor, and kids my age will understand. On the other hand, if you're an adult leader, I wouldn't know. If I were to give a speech to a group of adults, I would be talking about, hey, did you hear about the stock rises in the stock market and Bitcoin? It would be hard. I wouldn't understand that much. And the adults wouldn't think that my humor would fit into their lives because they're not a kid. I think the main difference from youth leaders and adult leaders is that youth leaders learn and adult leaders teach, which is a big difference, saying that when I grow up and when I choose to continue my path as a youth leader, not a youth leader because I'm going to be grown up, I would be able to teach other people. I wouldn't be that weird kid in a class with the orange sweater just listening to a bunch of adults talk and learn from them. I would be the teacher. That's it. Thank you.
That was an amazing table topic. Our next speaker for table topics is Kathleen. And your question is, who inspires you to move forward with your goal? Kathleen, who inspires you to move forward with your goal? Is Kathleen here? Would you like to give a table topic on that, Kaplan?
Maybe she's on mute.
Okay.
We can move. She said she can't turn the audio or the video on. So she's having technical issues. We have to move on to another person.
Our next table topic speaker is Robin. Would you like to answer the same question? Who inspires you to move forward with your goal?
Thank you for the question. Who inspires me to move forward with my goal? Well, I have a husband who inspires me. He tells me that I'm not doing things, so he inspires me to move on with my goals. Since we're sheltered in place, I should be accomplishing more things than what I have. But since the places where you take your clothes to, or where you take your, I can't think of the name of it. The Salvation Army is closed also because of shelter in place. I can't take my items. So I have a big pile at my door, and my husband is still encouraging me to collect more junk and wait till the stores open where I can give it away to Salvation Army. So my husband helps me to be inspired. Thank you.
That was an amazing table topic. I will be handing it back to our Toastmaster, Niru.
Thank you so much, Mrinali. Those were some really good table topics. They were really thought-provoking, so thank you so much for those amazing questions. And next, I will be calling upon our student general evaluator for today, Sadhana.
Thank you, Niru. So starting with the general evaluation, I'm going to call up our timer for their timer report, Tanvi.
All right, so here is our long-awaited timer log. So we started out with our 12 first speeches today. So we started out with Varsha, and her speech was 1 minute and 4 seconds. Then we had Shreya, who had a 54-second speech. Then we had Prasha, who had a 1 minute and 8 second speech. Then Srihari, who had a 53-second speech. Yash had a 1 minute and 4 second speech. Hasita had a 1 minute and 13-second speech. Alison had a 53-second speech. Niru had a 58-second speech. Ashi had a 1 minute and 13-second speech. Pooja had a 1 minute and 10-second speech. Sadhana had a 2 minute and 2 second speech. Renali's group, so the Camp for Kids group, had a 7 minute and 24-second speech. And Ria on the video had a 1 minute and 3 second speech. And Mr. Jim's speech was 7 minutes and 45 seconds. And Allison's evaluation on Mr. Jim's speech was 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And our table topic times were, for JD, it was 1 minute and 1 second. Achi's table topic was 1 minute and 48 seconds. And Robin's table topic was 1 minute and 2 seconds. And that's it for the timer report.
Thank you, Tanvi. Next, I'd like to call up our odd counter, Hasita, to give her report.
So I'll be reviewing the most used filler words for each speaker. Varsha, your most used filler word is and. Shreya, yours is and also. Tanvi, yours also is and. Prasha, yours is so. Srihari, yours is and. Yash, you have equal and a. Allison, you used and the most. Niru, you also used and the most. Achi, you also used and. Sadhana, you used and so a lot. Mrinali, you used and so too. Pooja, her video had 3 ands. Ria, she also had 3 ands. Jim, I only caught 1 and. JD, I only caught 1 and too. Hachi, I caught 4 ands. And Robin, I caught 2 ands. Thank you.
Thank you, Hasita, for your odd counter report. And finally, I'd like to call up our grammarian to give their grammarian report, Varsha.
Thank you, Sadhana. I have not caught many gems or germs throughout the meeting, but to start with the youth speeches, Allison, Niru, and Srihari, all three of you started with statistics in your speech, and that was a good way to hook us, and it really showed power in your speech. Achi, you had a germ. You said CO2 getting thrown up in our air. I think you can phrase that a little differently, like saying getting released into the atmosphere. Sadhana, I found a gem, and it was we can't right their wrongs, and I thought this was really powerful in your speech. And that's all I really caught for the gems and germs. And the only person I actually found who used the word of the day was JD. So yeah, that's my grammarian report.
Okay, and moving on to my general evaluation. So moving into today's meeting, we had to use slides, and all of our Google Slides are compiled onto one slide by Achi. So thank you, Achi, for putting that together. It went very smoothly. There were barely any hiccups, and when there were a few technical difficulties, but Neha and Achi handled them very well with the support of all the other Toastmasters. So one thing that I think that everyone could just improve on is just to make sure that you're on mute, whether you're you make sure you're on mute if you're not speaking. It becomes a distraction for the speakers if your mic is on and making noise in the background. And for Allison, for your evaluation, it was very well done. It covered all the aspects of Jim's speech. One thing that I noticed, however, was that you kept looking above, and I just think that was the camera angle. So maybe next time, if you could elevate whatever device you're using by using books underneath it, it might make it better for your camera angle, and it might not look to us that you're looking up to the ceiling. Otherwise, I think you hit all the key points of Jim's speech. Overall, we want to thank all of the F.A.T. Toastmasters for having us here today and giving us their complete support. I'd like to hand the meeting over to Mr. Ken Combe for the Toastmasters General Evaluation.
Thank you very much. Tonight was a fantastic meeting. We want to thank all of the YLP members and the guests that are supporting YLP. I want to give a real quick shout out to Jean and Sherry for organizing this. You guys did a great job and run a very organized and tight ship with YLP, and you showed it tonight. It was a great job, started on time. We had great speeches. I wish all of the YLP members would keep joining F.A.T. Anytime you guys want to come, you guys are welcome. And we just I love the imagination, the ideas, the confidence, and the presentations was excellent. Love the graphics. The prepared speech from Jim was excellent. Great imagery and imagination went into that. Great storytelling. And Allison, you did a great job of evaluating Jim's speech. I thought that was excellent. We really appreciate great evaluation, so that was awesome. And table topics was done very well. Murnali, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but great job handling that and calling on people that did not have speaking roles. So that was all great. You know, improvements, I really can't think of too much. You guys ran a great meeting. One improvement I could think of is that this youth leadership program really needs all of our support. And I text in the chat a little while ago, and I will do that right after this. If you guys, I know it's a tough time right now, but if you guys have anything that you can donate to this group, they need your support and encouragement. And they have these presentations are really what they are working towards a final project that they want to go forward with. So this money, if you can donate it, will go directly to that fund for them to go forward with one of these great presentations, one of these great youth encouragement, empowerment projects. So please, if you can, donate. So I just want to thank everybody, and I'll turn it back over to our president, Gwen, I believe.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone. Wow, wow. I'm sure that's the word that you're thinking, right? When looking at those amazing young people. I remember I was telling my son, who's 11 years old, I say, I'm sorry, the world is a chaos. I'm gonna hand it over to you so you can figure out how to fix it. But I have to use a corny quote here. The youth is the hope of our future. And today I feel hopeful. Our young people, you guys are thinking about how to contribute to our communities. You're learning public speaking, you're learning persuasive speaking, and then most importantly is the leadership. It's very amazing. I took down some words like confidence. All of you, the confidence is there. There's no arrogance, it's just the calm, you know, it's just amazing. When you have technical issues, I don't see panicking or, oops, oh, what do I do? No, it's great. You handled it very well and very professional. That's not very easy. And then the slides. I attended the YLP a couple of weeks ago. The slides were not like that. Today, it was elevated. It was amazing. Something happened there in the interim that your slides were just perfect. I don't see a lot of words. I see a lot of animation, and it's very getting my attention, getting everyone's attention. And I think for the YLP parents, you should be really proud of what they are doing today. And with adults, I mean, I feel pressure. I mean, like, okay, I got to practice my skills, right? So to show them that we're the F.A.T. Toastmasters. So again, I think Jean, Sherry, you guys did a great job. But this is an amazing experience. And I want to say for all the YLP students, you are welcome to FAT meetings anytime, right? And I like that your evaluation is kind but sharp. There is truth there. There's something that we can learn. So again, very, very, very proud of you. I'm very excited. We learned a lot. Okay. I want to invite our guests to talk about what they think about our meetings today. So our guest, James, what do you think? This is your second time back to our meetings, and today is very different, very special. James, you want to give us your feedback? You're on mute.
Yeah, I had to unmute myself. No, I'm glad I was able to participate again. I couldn't make it last week, but I put a note out for myself to remind me to be available this evening. I enjoyed the presentations. I thought they did a really good job, and gives you some hope about what's going on in this world. The way things have been in recent months, you get rather depressed. So I'm glad to hear some positive things and see that younger people are doing something to try to make things better. So I really enjoyed that very much. And I think they did a very good job with the videos, and was really impressed about how it was all put together. And I'm glad that I was able to be here tonight to participate in it.
Thank you, James. Please come back next week if you can. The door is always open.
All right, thank you.
Okay, what about David? David, any feedback for us? You're on mute?
Yeah, thanks, Sherry, for inviting me. I didn't know about this virtual meeting until a few days ago, but I'm glad I listened in. And I believe I retired 3 years ago, and I looking back, and I believe we need to keep investing on young people and give them the encouragement and support that as grown up can in terms of time and leadership or training that Jean and Sherry and others are doing, and they're doing a great job. And it takes a village to raise a child. So, and parents can do so much, but there are role models that young people sometimes look up to, and it's up to each one of us who have the time and the energy and the motivation to keep coaching and leading, giving good examples. And I believe Sherry and Jeans are doing just that. And I appreciate that. Even though I'm not in there, I do appreciate that you folks are banding together to support this whole journey for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Hope to see you next time.
You'll do.
I noticed we have a guest, Dean. Dean, I don't know if you're online and willing to share your video. And, you know,
yeah,
I just want to welcome you to the club. And how did you find us? And what do you think about
okay. I'll tell me. My name is Dean. I used to be a Toastmaster. I have a CTM, and I was in a bunch of contests. I'm decided to come back to Toastmasters, so I'm just basically visiting a lot of club. And I found this club to be very interesting, and also every club has its own unique personality. This club actually blends a youth speechcraft with the older Toastmaster, which I find interesting, because when I used to, a long time ago, when I used to do a youth speechcraft, I just had the kids all by themselves. So these kids are really brave and really, really good. So I find this club very interesting, and I can tell this is an advanced club. So just a couple of feedback. I think there's something about your meetup group, because I tried to use the link there and it didn't work. So I had to go and track down to your website and finally found it. So just a little feedback. And also the other feedback is that I believe one of the youth table topic master, I would recommend you tell the time, like what's the limit for the table topics. If sometimes people might forget, so just make say it's from 1 to 2 minutes. That's just a suggestion. But overall, I like this club. I might come back. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dean, for the great recommendation and suggestion, and hope to see you next time. Albert, you want to give us some comments? Albert Mo is the first place in the District 57 International Speech Contest. Albert, you want to give us some kind words about our club and the meeting today? You're on mute.
Thank you. Thank you for Jean and Sherry's invitation. And I'm glad I attended your meeting. It was so impressive. And I can recall for many years, actually for 8 years, I was the head coach for the CBC YLP. And each summer we had about 60 high school students, and we had a graduation competition. It was a lot of fun. But you guys did a very good job, and I was so impressed with your PowerPoint presentations and all the speeches. So I borrowed the word from Glenn, that it was a vow. So keep up the good work, and Sherry and Jean, great work, and we all appreciate your effort.
Before I move on to the next guest, I want to hand it over to Niru, right? Niru, our Toastmaster from our YLP program. You have something to say, and fantastic job. I'll let you kind of speak.
Thank you so much, Gwen. I just wanted to say thank you to Jean, Sherry, as well as Neha, who are our 3 YLP coordinators. And thank you so much to the F.A.T. Toastmasters for letting us kind of take over the meeting for today. I just wanted to say thank you.
That's great. Do we have any volunteer who wants to speak or give us some feedback? Share your thoughts. If you want to talk, raise your hand. Jean, Jean, you want to say something?
May I invite Neha to say something on behalf of the whole the YLP coordinator, Neha?
Yeah, so I'm just kind of really glad to see how far majority of our group has come in the YLP from their first speech, which was kind of story in their lives. It was some were comical, some were more emotional, and to see them now give these speeches and propose these ideas to do something or give a story that is more than just something that's important to them and want to do something for the community and use their voice to make a difference in their community is something that definitely inspires me as well. And I hope that even if you guys aren't doing these projects through the 3C's YLP, we encourage you to start a club at school or do this community service project. Use the skills that you learned at Toastmasters to make an active difference, because all of your voices really can make a difference. So we hope that's what you are taking from the 3C's YLP, Toastmasters, and continue doing you with the amazing ideas.
That's great. Sam, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say it's great to see everyone really fill up the screen here. And it'll be nice to have everyone's face screenshotted and posted out there. Because, again, meeting people, I think these days it's a great privilege to be connected like this. So if everyone can have their screen on, if you're able to, and I'll take a screenshot and I'll share with everybody. Okay.
Fix your hair, you guys.
Smile.
All right. Yeah, smile, make poses, make goofy faces, whatever. All right. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So there are 2 pages, so I gotta scroll. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. All right, great.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
I like that when you're on 3, you also smile. You want to say something? No, okay. Do we have anything else? Jim, please.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for the great feedback from my speech. And I wanted to say thank you to all the youth that are here. And it was Sarah and I's honor to be general evaluators at one of your meetings when you were talking about your own storytelling. So it was great to come tell you one of my stories. Be blessed and have a great life.
Great. Before the meeting is adjourned, let's go back to business. So for F.A.T. club members, last week we had our officers meeting and it went very well. We have a lot of action items, and one of it is very important is in our mentorship program, our mentors are asked to reach out to mentees. So the goal is to set up your goal for the next term, what your pathway goals are in our club, right? So think about, is it you want to complete a pathway, you want to complete certain levels, or, when are you going to make your speech, right? So those are the things that mentors will be reaching out to you. So be prepared for that. And I'm sure after today, right, I hope that you're motivated to make those speeches. See, it requires practice, and this is the perfect place for you to do that. Okay? If nothing else, Sherry, do you have anything to say? You want to call out some district?
Well, I know that there are still some district people in here, but I just want to say that I'm just totally proud of these YLP advanced students. They are advanced. When I saw the slide decks, just like Gwen said, I saw some of the slides earlier, but these are way beyond what I imagined. And I have to admit that they're very savvy with the technology. And I'm so glad that Neha was part of the coordinating group, because I learned a lot of technical stuff from her. I couldn't even do some of the basic stuff. And I say, well, Neha, how do you do this stuff? And she goes, oh, it's just blah, 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 blah. And I go, okay, slow down, slow down. But you guys are amazing. And please, just as Neha said, continue to use your voice. And District 57, the theme is find your voice and make a difference. That is the theme for District 57 for this Toastmasters year. And I believe you guys have found your voice. The next step is to make a difference. And that's all I want to say. And I'm hoping that some of the area directors or some of the district people will say something about, you know, the YLP, and maybe any of you are encouraged to be YLP coordinators, because we could always use coordinators for YLP. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Now that we know the students are so good, I mean, the coordinator job should be fairly easy because they know how to run the meeting on their own, right? Okay, so I think it's 8:34 now. If nothing else, you can stick around and chat, or I'm calling the meeting is adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, and thank
Hello,
you
Ivy.
for this opportunity.
Yeah, there's.
Allison,
Ivy.
great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, Allison.
Thank
Really
you.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and maybe I'll pop by sometimes. Just.
That's good.
Yeah, come by and give
Thank you again.
a great evaluation. We're ready for it. Or a speech.
Actually, I wanted to say that, Allison, I know how hard it is to give an evaluation less than a minute after the person speaks. You did an excellent job.
Yeah, awesome job.
Thank you so much.
You guys
And-
all did an awesome job.
Yeah. And thank you again, Jim, for that amazing speech. It was really, really touching and super emotional.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Everyone, good job, everyone. Thank you.
Everybody
Good
see
job.
Natasha?
Jean, thank you.
Did everybody
Good
see
job,
Natasha
Jean.
tonight? You guys should send Natasha an email and tell her thanks for coming to our meeting. She was back again tonight, but we didn't see her.
Yep.
That was cool.